Hello, my name is Roman. I am owner of Arrows Digital Agency, and today I want to interview one of the best barber in UK, Dan.
What's up, bro? How you doing today?
So I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Blessed, bro. So I've been barbering for close to a decade now. I've had my own business for about 5 years, and I call myself Ducey Cutts, and I'm the CEO of Ducey's Hair Studio, which is now also a salon and barbershop.
How do you become the best barber in Leeds?
Best barber in Leeds. Well, I guess I am the only one with 5-star reviews. Just practicing on myself, getting really good at my trade, understanding how to do my job the way I'd want to see it done. A lot of barbers don't cut their own hair, and I think that's where they go wrong. You can cut your own hair well, you can do an even better job on the client, and you're not going to be rough with the clippers, and you understand what you want from a barber. So then you start to give what you'd like to the client instead of just treating him like a customer, treat him like you treat yourself. So I think that's where I put myself apart from the rest of it.
What's your secret sauce for barbering?
Can't really tell you all the secrets, bro, but what I can tell you is that I take a lot of pride in hygiene and make sure there's no cross contamination. I'd like to give the client what I'd want to see when I go to a shop. And to be honest with you, I don't see anybody doing what I'd like to see. So, yeah, just wearing gloves, putting a fresh towel down, spraying everything, using barbicide jars, making sure everything that I'm going to apply to the client's skin is disinfected, no cross contamination. Every client gets a fresh tray, a reset tray with all the equipment I'm going to use on him prior to the appointment, ready and disinfected. And I'm light handed and I'm precise and I take my time. And also, I've got a private studio, so I get more of a VIP vibe going.
You're just talking about hygiene. I know like that a lot of barbers doesn't just disinfect, and it's really really sad.
Put it this way, the GP will get fined if he's not replaced the paper towels on the bed where the patient sits on just to get checked. And the GP is not using any invasive tools on you or scraping away at your skin with shaving equipment. Yet you go to the barbers and he's using equipment on you that's scraping away at your skin, and there's no regulations for that. So that's backwards, in my opinion. Think about how much cross contamination happens at a barbershop. In the UK, it's actually quite disgusting. Other countries like America, they have license or regulation. So just because they don't have it here, it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, true, true. We don't have any regulations in UK. How do you make a confidence skyrocket for your clients when they have a trim?
Basically, just look at their head shape and try and figure out what would suit them. If somebody has a really flat head at the back, then there's no point giving them a really high skin fade up to the crown. You want to give them a bit of a drop and then create that illusion, that the head is not as flat as it actually is. Maybe leave some weight at the back there and give it like a blowout taper. Mainly just focusing on head shape and a cut that would suit that client. A lot of people come in with pictures like, oh, I want this or that. And it's like, bro, you haven't got the hair type, you haven't got the head shape, it's not going to suit you. I suggest you go for this. And give them a good consultation. A lot of barbers, they're just like, yes, please, what do you want? Okay, boom, 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 next, please.
That's a really good point. And I bet like you have a lot of clients and they telling you like, like weirdest stories. I want to hear some really like funny stories, some bizarre stories that you have.
Well, there's one client that he got referred to by a friend to this female barber, and she was really busy, but for the wrong reasons. Not very good at her job, but she was so busy, and I'll tell you why. Because she was actually rubbing her breasts on the client's head, like pushing her breasts on his head while she's like cutting his hair really closely, and all this kind of like sexual gestures. It's just the wrong way to sell your craft. You're not really that good at your job, so you're gonna try and sell your body instead. Try and turn on these deprived men who are going to tip you at the end. And then you show them the mirror, you give them a botched haircut, a really rubbish job, and they're just like, yeah, it's great, thanks. And the craziest thing is, I don't know if I should be saying this, but she even offered him a happy ending at the end.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, massage his,
Like head massage?
like polish his magic wand.
Let's talk about business. How important is online presence for the barbershop today?
Fortunately, it's not the way it used to be. An online presence is really, really important. People need to be focusing on perfecting their skill and making a portfolio and also making content that can help clients and inform them. It's not just about, here's a good haircut next, please. You need to really like be offering more than just a haircut experience. You need to be able to give your client value and help them understand that you care about their health and their image. And by portraying all that online, definitely going to make you succeed more than the other people. And that's why I'm doing well with the reviews, with the online presence, with my social media, slowly growing every day. I started off really basic, and it's just in the past few months started to grow a lot. And that's because of the kind of content I'm doing, kind of advice I'm giving. Yeah, clients seem to be loving it, so it's working.
I just have a question. As we made your website, does it make you look more professional? Does it help you to get more clients?
100%. As soon as somebody clicks on the Google and they see that you've got a link to your website, and if you've got a professional website, which is like just straight to the point, good quality, professional, simple and sophisticated, that's what they need. Because people haven't got time nowadays to be sifting through loads of information just to get to what they're trying to look for. They just want to see a few portfolios, a few pictures, kind of book an appointment, address, whatever. Yeah, website is 100% crucial.
Remember that DeepSeek kind of scandal that everyone was bizarre and everyone's thinking about AI taking job. Like, what do you think about like AI in barbering? How it would change barbering or how would it impact barbering?
AI is okay, but I still prefer an authentic touch. And you can see when somebody's focusing or relying too much on AI, the content is very generic and the AI can't do as good a job as a human being can. You can use AI to an extent, but then I'd always advise to give it a check and add a human touch to it.
Yeah, true. What hair trends or barbering trends are you predicting in the future?
With the way that everything's going, hair loss is increasing every year. So people are going to start getting a lot more hair transplants, a lot more wigs, a lot more things to do with covering up the hair loss. The reason for the hair loss can be many factors, which I'm not going to go into now.
What kind of advice would you give to young barbers? How they can improve their business, their skills, how they leverage technology?
Cut your own hair. Just cut your own hair. Enough barbers out there, too many barbers out there in the UK, and hardly any of them are cutting their own hair. As soon as you start cutting your own hair, you realize how you should be applying the clipper to the person's scalp. A lot of barbers out there, they're just like scraping away in rough and going over the same area over and over. It's like, what are you doing? It's like you're masturbating with a clipper or something. What are you doing, bro? Get some mannequins with fake hair on it so you can practice that at home in your own time. Don't rely on anybody. Take matters into your own hands and just start practicing as much as you can. And there's a lot of videos and tutorials out there. And the more you practice on yourself and on the mannequin heads and on your friends and different hair types, you're gonna get more clients that way because you more likely to be able to take anybody that walks through the door or any appointment that comes in. Instead of turning people away and say, no, sorry, I only focus on straight hair or I can only do afro hair.
What do you think like barbers should use as a starter technology stack our barbershop, how they should advertise? Because 205.0 5 stars reviews, which is just like impossible for most of the barbers.
To be honest with you, bro, when a client comes in and you give them a good service, if they're a first-time client, I wouldn't annoy them. Oh, can you leave a review? Like, they're a first-time client. Let them experience it first. And then I wouldn't even send them a link. Like, here's a link. Please leave a review. I wouldn't even do that. I would wait until they come a second or third time. And then I'd tell them, like, look, you're here a second or third time, so I must be doing something right. Can you do me a favor? Get your phone out and leave a review. And they can't really tell you no. And they're not doing anything anyway. They just sat there waiting for the haircut to be done. So whilst they're sat there, they can give you a review. But if it's a first-time client, let him taste the product first and leave him the hell alone. Do a good job and let them come back. Once they come back a second time, that's when you get the review. And that's what I've done with all my clients, and it seems to be working.
What should I do like if I come to barber and get a bad haircut?
My advice is do your research before you go to the shop. Because once you're there and the guy has done his haircut, he's going to expect his money. He's probably going to call the police if you don't pay. You just want to avoid all that altercation. So if you go somewhere, you didn't do your research, it's your own fault really. Just pay and don't go back. Do your research, understand where you're going before you go, and you get what you pay for.
Barber, would you do like if clients say like, oh, I don't really like this haircut?
Well, it's pretty much impossible when they come to sit in my chair because I talk them through the haircut the whole way through. I let them know exactly what I'm doing. I give them a consultation. They've seen my portfolio before they come to me. All my clients, they come from online or referrals. So they all look and analyze my work before they come to me so they know what I'm about and what I can do.
Should you go like to the barbers that do the art style that you like?
Okay, well, there are people that cut hair and then there are barbers. So there's a difference. Some of these guys are just literally cutting hair for a living. They're not really barbers. So yeah, there are artists out there. There are barbers that are really good with the scissors. There are barbers that are really good with the fade. And there are some barbers that are really good at everything. All hair types, long hair, short hair, fades, design patterns. In my situation, I was an artist before I became a barber, so I understand a lot of shapes and designs, and I consider myself more of an artist. And there are a lot of barbers out there now that are taking a lot of pride in their work and consider themselves more of an artist. And if you think about it, you are blending and fading and shading, and it is like a form of art, a form of drawing. But instead of using a pencil, You're using clippers.
Opening in the UK, like on my street, like 5 or 6 in a row, and 2 of them the same brand, which is very weird. What do you think about that?
And there's a pandemic of generic, cheap, unhygienic barbers in the UK. And they're going to soon be washed out because the competition is getting way too high. And they're not even relying on haircuts. Really, they're a front for something else.
Do you think it's like a coverage for some kind of drug money?
Most of them, they look like a typical front for laundering. If you just stop and stare at how they're cutting hair and look at the quality of their work, you're like, that's a terrible haircut. They have a new person in there every week. The barbers keep changing. All the pictures that you see in the shop are generic pictures from the internet. You see Cristiano Ronaldo.
Thank you so much for interview. I hope everyone who viewed enjoyed them.
I hope everybody learned something today. Thanks, bro.
Been fun. Thank you too. Been pleasure to meet you.